Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer 40k, and today we're going to take a look at the Aeldari, and in particular how to get started with an Ulthwe themed Aeldari army. Now, in this video, we're going to go through, talk about what exactly Ulthwe gives us that's special for an Aeldari army. We'll then take a look at some units we can start our Ulthwe collection with, before looking at other units we can then grab later to expand upon those initial purchases with. And finally, at the end of the video, we'll give you a little sample 1000 point army list that you can use as some inspiration for creating your own Eldar Ulthwe army. And so, what do we get from an Ulthwe army? First of all, it is an Aeldari subfaction, Aeldari craft world that you can find within the Codex. Now, it's got some cool rules. First of all, you can re-roll a single wound roll when resolving attacks either in melee or at range with any of your units. You also get bonuses to psychers in this army, and so if the first psychic test is taken from a unit this turn, you get to add one to that first psychic test for all of them. On top of that, you've also got an army-wide 6+ invulnerable save, and you can ignore mortal wounds army-wide on a 5+. On top of this, your craftworld specific stratagem rewards you for taking Guardian keyworded units, so this is things like Guardian Defenders, Storm Guardians, Wind Rider jet bikes, and your support weapons as well, all of which have the Guardian keyword. Now, Aeldari, you're also going to get access to a named character called Ulthwe. He is the head honcho psyker for the Eldar, really. While you can use him in any Aeldari army you want, he does, go nicely narratively, and both rules-wise, you get access to a bunch of stuff when you're playing in the Ulthwe army. And so, where to start? Well, there's no better place to start than looking at Ulthwe himself. He is the big head honcho for your Ulthwe army. Now, he is a psyker, and he can attempt to manifest 3 psychic powers in a turn and attempt to deny 2 in your enemy's turn. He also knows Smite and 3 psychic powers from the Runes of Fortune and or the Runes of Fate disciplines. He's got his Armor of the Last Runes, which gives him a 4-up invulnerable save, and on a modified wound roll of a 1 to 3 for attacks that target him, they just fail regardless of anything else. He also never suffers from perils of the warp. His runes are the Farseer at the start of each battle round after making a Strands Fate roll before selecting which of those dice to retain. For each Farseer model in your army and that is on the battlefield and not within the engagement range of any enemy units, you can re-roll one of those dice. And then his First of Ulthwe allows each time a psychic test is taken with this model, you can re-roll the test. So he's just really a great psyker. The Staff of Ulthwe and his Witchblade give him +2 strength, -2 AP, damage 2 attacks in combat, and an unmodified wound roll of 2+ is always successful with these weapons, which is pretty nice. He only has 3 attacks though, but means they are high value attacks. Now, alongside with him, Guardian Defenders I think are a really nice option. You're going to get a ton of different things you can do with these units. Now, you can take a variety of different heavy weapons with them. They're all going to be armored with their Shuriken catapults, which are nice. Assault 2, Strength 4, AP -1, Damage 1 Shuriken weapons. Shuriken weapons are just really nice throughout the Eldar. The Defender's Roar allows them, while they're within range of an objective marker, you can reroll hit rolls of 1, and then the Crew Platform just allows the platform to move around with the unit for them. This is a pretty solid start. You're going to get a unit that can make use of your stratagem. You're going to have a really powerful psyker to begin with that has access to a wide variety of different psychic powers. For me, this is just a great place to start with an Aeldari army. And so, where to go to next? First of all, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Storm Guardians. I think they're an interesting choice and definitely something to consider if you're wanting to go a more combat focused playstyle. Maybe if you're playing in really densely packed terrain boards, or you're playing something like boarding missions using Zone Mortalis terrain and stuff like that, that can definitely be a good option instead of the Guardian Defenders previously mentioned. Now, on to other Guardian units. We have Wind Rider jet bikes. These are a Guardian keyworded unit, so they're going to get access to all the cool abilities that we're going to get for Ulthwe with that nice stratagem. Now, Wind Riders, they can choose to have a variety of different weapons. They can have their twin Shuriken catapults. They can have scatter lasers, which are a nice horde clearing weapon with heavy 6 strength 6, no AP, damage 1, or they can take Shuriken cannons, which are a little bit more Space Marine killy. Now, the Ride the Winds rule just allows them to add 6 to any advance rolls they make, and Swift Demise each time a unit in this makes an attack with a twin shuriken catapult against an enemy unit within range of any objective markers, you can reroll the hit roll of 1. So you've got some options to play around with in how you want to equip them and what you want to get. Your twin shuriken catapults are the least valuable of the weapons, but they do get additional rules on top. Now onto the unit that I think is nice to bring in to support them, or Farseers obviously are a great unit to bring in. You can bring in Wind Rider Farseers as well, which are Farseers on jet bikes, which is just going to add that little bit more psychic power bonuses to your force. Another Guardian unit to consider is the support weapon batteries. I think these guys don't get talked about enough. They've got some really cool weapon options like the D cannon for heavy, D3, strength 12, -4 AP, damage D6 +2. That also inflicts some mortal wounds and is a blast weapon, so really good, strong, ranged weapon. You can also take things like a Shadow Weaver, which is a blast weapon that doesn't require line of sight, or a Vibro cannon for heavy D6, strength 7, -1 AP, damage 2, good for taking out Space Marines. Now, keeping in theme, the other units I want to talk about, first of all, Warwalkers. I think these, while they don't have the Guardian keyword, are a really interesting unit. They fit the theme of an Ulthwe army and that heavy Guardian sort of force. You can take a variety of different heavy weapons. Each one can have 2 heavy weapons. Potentially, I really like the effect that these guys can just move around and provide some really nice fast-moving anti-tank support with a nice 10-inch base move. You've also got a 5-up invulnerable save on them thanks to their power field as well. Now the Viper is another cool option to bring into a Aeldari force. It's more a heavy weapon totting jet bike, so it's going to have its underslung weapon, which is going to be its shuriken catapult on it, but it can also take things like bright lances, scatter lasers, Aeldari missile launchers, and all that on the top as well. I think these just provide a little bit more heavy firepower than your Wind Riders, good for keeping there and keeping your Wind Riders in the game, fighting alongside them to take out any sort of heavier threats that your Wind Riders might face off against. And so here we have our sample army list for the Ulthwe Aeldari. Now, we're not having to spend any CP on our detachment because we've gone for a patrol detachment that gets all its points refunded that we have to spend if we've got our Warlord in the detachment, so we've got no points spent there, which means we have points free to spend, first of all, on a Warlord trait for Eldrad, who is going to be our Warlord. He's going to have his cool Ulthwe Warlord trait that's just going to allow him to, when we make a Fans of Fate roll, we're going to be able to get an additional dice back from that, which is really cool. We've then got his psychic power. So first of all, he's got Fortune, which is going to allow us each time unit would lose a wound, you can roll a dice on a 5+, the wound's not lost. We've then got Guide, where we can get rerolls to hit, and then he's also going to have Fateful Divergence, which can generate extra CP for us as well. So a cool ability to, you know, refund some of the CP we're spending on that command point and relic. Speaking of that relic, we are going to put it on a Farseer Skyrunner. So the relic for Ulthwe is really nice. This really does just sort of hammer down and make one of our psychers that little bit better. It's called the Ghost Helm of Alzair. And so this allows us to know an additional power from the Runes of Fortune. And then each time we take a psychic test for the bearer on a 9+, the psychic test cannot be stopped in any way, which is really nice. For those psychic powers, we've first of all gone for Doom, which is going to allow us to reroll wounds against the target enemy unit we picked to Doom. And then we've also gone Impair Senses. I really like this on the jet bikes. This is going to stop a unit being able to cast its aura abilities out, or being able to be affected by aura abilities, which is really cool. Now, obviously, Farseer Skyrunner, that means he's on his jet bike as well. And we've gone for putting a Singing Spear on this model as well. Troops-wise, we've got 2 units of Guardian Defenders, both of them with Aeldari missile launchers. I think they're just nice long range, and they can go against either heavy armor or they can go against infantry. A good, versatile weapon to have on your Guardian Defenders. Moving on, we've then got 2 Vipers. Both of them are going to have the Shuriken Cannons on top. So they're just going to be able to provide some nice shuriken damage. And then we've got 3 Wind Rider jet bikes with scatter lasers. This is going to be a nice fast-moving force here. They can take out enemy backfield objective holders that are generally, not going to be the toughest of troops. Now, we've then also got in heavy support, we've got support weapons. So we've got 2 D cannons and a Shadow Weaver. In here, 2 D cannons are going to be great for targeting enemy heavy stuff. Meanwhile, the Shadow Weaver is going to once again be able to provide some long-range support to deal with enemy backfield units. Then we've got 2 Walkers with an Aeldari missile launcher and a Bright Lance each. These here are going to be able to move up and take out enemy armor and enemy heavy units. 53 power level and 1000 CP. With 1 CP, though, remember, we can get Eldrad just to get us more, and we do get more during the game now in the latest edition of 40k, so This, for me, is a fun Eldar list, really fits the theme. We've got Eldrad in there like we would want for a nice Ulthwe army. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. If you've been playing with Eldrad and Ulthwe, love to hear from you. And so that is the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop a comment below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel and keep us doing what we are doing and allow us to do even more cool wargaming content, you can support us on Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked once again in the video's description. As a special thank you to everyone, we'd like to give a shout out to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lyle, Alder Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Thie, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Ketter, Derek, and GRP390, and as well to our YouTube members: Greenridge Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny 84, David Ersworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Shelf, Adriana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. A special thank you to everyone who helps support the channel. You allow us to do what we do. With that said, everyone, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.